We're listing our home next week, and then after that, we're renting an RV and traveling across the United States with 2 boys, 2 birds, a cat. All the while, I'll be applying to jobs and taking interviews on the road. Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Abby.
So we have 3 things that we want to tell you more about today. First, we're selling our home and we're listing it in less than 1 week from today. Second, since we aren't going to have a home to live in, we're going to become nomads for the next 40 days, living in an RV that we've rented and traveling across the United States. And third, I've resigned from my position at Blizzard Entertainment on the BattleNet team. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It's easy to let go of things when they're not going well, but when things are going really well and you're very happy, it's much harder to let them go. Ultimately, I didn't feel in good conscience being an employee at BattleNet and working remotely while on the road, while also being a father and a husband traveling across the United States. And so in order to do this right, we just felt it was time to say goodbye. Now, just to be clear, we don't have a job lined up or therefore a work visa scheduled that will allow us to transition into the United Kingdom. And so over the next 40 days, I'll be applying to different jobs and working on that process. Now, you're right. If we were planning this out by ourselves and trying to figure out the safest, most optimal way to do this, we'd do it in pretty much the reverse order. We'd find the job, we'd get the visa approved, then we would sell our home, and then we would move, probably in something like that order. But in our case, we've been trusting God and listening to Him, and He has told us that the time is now. The very day that I resigned 2 weeks ago, my sister sent me a video from a guy named Jamie Winship, who was doing a talk about God's timing. And in that talk, he talks about the 2 Greek words that are used to describe time in the Bible, chronos time and kairos time. Chronos time is what you probably think of most of the time when you think of time. It's linear. There's yesterday, there's today, there's tomorrow. Later this day, at a certain time, I have a meeting. That's chronos time. But Kairos time is when God has a specific moment in time, an appointment, if you will, that He's been working all things towards. And we feel like this is a Kairos moment in our lives where He's saying, trust me. You don't need all the things that you think you need. You just need me. Trust me, and I will take you along the journey. And so that's what we're doing as a family. And we're inviting you to come along that journey with us and experience it. Everything that God has to offer, the surprises, the things that we expect. We don't know how it'll all work. We just know that we can trust Him, and that He'll get us there at the right time. So why the United Kingdom, you might be asking? Well, it all started 16 years ago on our honeymoon, when we were traveling in the United Kingdom, visiting Bath and London together for a week. That planted a bug that then over the course of the next 10 years, as our 2 children have started to grow older, we've taken them multiple times on road trips, to Ireland, to Scotland, to England, across the country, to really get to experience and immerse ourselves in the culture. And it's something that we're really excited about getting back to and being able to plant roots long term. But there is so much to be done for us to be able to make this move happen, starting with the logistics that come with selling a home. I've been working feverishly with my wife and our kids around the house, packing up things as we've been downsizing to about 50% of what we currently own to be able to make the cost of the move more affordable, but also so that we expect to fit into a smaller home once we're on the other side. In addition to donating a bunch of the possessions that we own to get ready for this move, we've also been doing a bunch of fix-it jobs around the house, including finishing, the smart project that I started several years ago to get smart blinds hung up throughout the house. So, when we bought the house, we installed these slightly glossy square plates, and we're replacing these slightly more classic rounded. It's not necessarily for the look that we did it, but throughout the house, we've installed smart blinds that can be up and down controlled via remote or via smart programming, things like that, like rise at sunrise, set at sunset, etc. So I didn't finish setting them all up probably 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm going to finish now. So I'm going through the house and making these consistent because that's the right thing to do. Nice. Looks good. Normally you'd have plenty of time to do this, but when you're talking about moving in less than 2 weeks, That's not a lot of time to get a lot of things done. On the other side, I've been applying to different jobs over the last couple of weeks, and I've gotten a couple of nibbles. What I found through the process is most companies are either too small or focused on local talent. And so having to apply for a skilled workers visa in order to gain a job in the UK has been definitely something of a hindrance to a lot of the different hiring managers that I've spoken with. That's okay. We'll keep our heads up and we'll go through the process one step at a time. I'm really looking forward to the period of creativity where I need to try to make an interview work inside of an RV while we've got our 2 kids, our 2 cats, a bird, all in one confined living space. That's definitely going to be an interesting environment to interview in.
Oh, yeah.
So on this trip, I'm going to need pretty good access to internet, specifically for interviews, and honestly, just as we're driving around, being able to apply to different jobs. So I picked up a Starlink Standard Edition. I did look at the Mini. It would have been definitely more portable and certainly easier to get across the pond. But I've heard that it's a little less reliable, particularly for video calls. So I went with a Starlink. Let's go ahead and set it up and test it out. Okay, it's all physically set up. Now we're going to begin connecting via the app. Alignment uncertainty is high. Please wait a moment for an accurate measurement. It's getting better. Go ahead and run a speed test. Oh yeah. Down is super strong. Okay. What'll matter with that up is how consistent it is and what kind of drops it experiences.
And that's how you'll be getting these video feeds. And then, while yes, it looks silly, as I've been told many times by Abby and our boys, we'll be using an Apple Vision Pro for the video editing on a Mac Mini.
So I'll be doing video editing, job applications, everything from this. What I want to do today, before we get started, is to make sure that this plus the Mac Mini plus the Starlink play nice so that I don't have any issues as I'm traveling. Okay, so for our test, what we're going to do is we're going to try to change the Wi-Fi from my local to the Starlink. Let's change this guy's Wi-Fi. Let's do... Here, let's put it over here. It's a little bit less crazy. Wi-Fi, yeah, it's on the other one. Let's go to the Starlink. Okay, and then it auto-reconnected. This is now on Starlink. See if this is still Starlink. Yes, it is. Okay, so technology seems to be ready for the trip.
In a future video, we'll show you a tour of the RV itself and the itinerary that we're planning to have, recognizing that it could change quite significantly as we get started on the trip.
Here we go. Just doing all the cleaning. That's gross. Oh, I found out this comes off. Now I gotta get in the groove with the Q-tip. Now look at it. Ah, this is so big.
We are doing a tour of our home. So we're going to walk through the house and we'll try to remember everything as it looks. That's Daniel. Daniel, how old are you right now?
7.
You're 7. And what grade did you just finish in school?
Kindergarten.
That's right, kindergarten. Here's our Lego room. We made these little bins and labeled them, and we tried really hard to organize. And as you can see, it didn't work out. We ended up mostly relying on these bins just to hold them. We've added on this locker storage, which we used for a while and then stopped using. to store the switches or other snacks that the boys would try to come and steal. And there's Ziggy. Ziggy, you want to say hi? Hi, Ziggy. Ziggy. What are you doing? There's Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Let's see what Peter's up to.
Hey!
Hey, there he is.
This is like a world I've been working on starting today. Other stuff are like this hallway leading into the little officer Brett's office.
That's cool. And take the kids to England. Okay, why not? That's how I got to Blizzard. This is the non-metal version. Kind of see it there without the glare. This was the portfolio that I created when I applied to Blizzard 9 years ago. And it's a product specification document for competitive esports. My cover letter, then what I recommended is, look at this, Overwatch League play. This is before Blizzard announced the Overwatch League, and I didn't know anything about it. So I guess I built a variety of screenshots that I put together of like what the user interface could look like for the process. I also did a project where I built a stat tracker tracking my win-loss ratio and some of the variables I was making. This is in the early days launch of the game. And this took me all the way to master level. Yeah, so we'll keep that. Memories. Okay, what game is that?
New Super Mario.
We're gonna test it out. This is an old Nintendo DS. We'll see if it still works. This was mine in college 20 years ago. Oh, look at that. Oh, it totally works. Look at that. 20 years. You want to play one level real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the jump button? Oh no, where's the jump button?
Perfect.
Right there. Oh. There they go. All right, and then what does it look like in here, guys? Oh my goodness.
I guess we're doing this.
We're pretty committed.